Hello everybody. It would appear that Instagram is still down. It would appear that way. So no IG, I guess, again. But hello to everyone else. Yes, we're live. And, yesterday did a show. Didn't have a lot of people show up. So I didn't do a night show. Today's Sunday. Hopefully there'll be more people. Because that's what I like. I like to see people. When I go live, I got some things to talk about. So let's turn the front lights on here. Yeah. And let me adjust the that aperture down a little bit here. The exposure, they like to call it. And we'll get a nice shot here. Let's change that white balance. Hey, Michael Haskey, first one here. What's up, buddy? Let's turn that white balance a little bit. So you can see from all the dead grass out here, I've gone ahead and fired True Green. They're not able to keep our lawn green anymore. So I fired them. What are we paying for if they can't keep the lawn looking gorgeous, So we'll find another company. They put a closer on the phone with me to try to keep me, and she must have kept me on the phone for a good 15 minutes trying to explain to me the same thing over and over again, that the lawn was going to look better. I just had to give it more time. I'm like, you know what? The lawn has looked like this now for about 2 or 3 months. And I said, I'm just not, hey, Bitter, what's up, hippie chick? I'm just not going to take it anymore. I'm not having it. So, yeah, time to move on, man. That's all. You're not true green. You're only semi-green when you get started. And then I guess you start slacking up on the chemicals. Maybe they give you less and less chemicals or something. I don't know. Like just trying to rip you off. I have no idea. Well, they let it get like this. And it was their job. It was their job to keep it green, to stay on top of it. And obviously the whole lawn looks like this. Front, back, it's everywhere. Unacceptable. It's completely unacceptable. I'll hire another company to take care of our lawn like that. Because whatever they're doing, it ain't working anymore. It worked at first, man. Dude, for the first year, I was blown away. I was so proud of this. First year and a half, I was blown away. It always looked good. We didn't have a bad part of the year or anything like that. Anyway. So we all saw the migrants in New York City trying to get those police officers to stop beating down their friend, right? And, they kicked him a couple times or whatever, got them to let go of their friend, and they let the cops run off. Both of the police ran off on their own 2 feet. They were in good enough condition to run off. Michael Rapaport calls that a beatdown. So I just want to offer this. You think that after a beatdown, you could get up and walk away? You don't know what a fucking beatdown is, you fucking idiot. You don't know the definition of the word of beatdown. Beatdown is you get beat down and you don't get up. That's a beatdown. All right? You beat somebody and they get up. You're a pussy and you didn't do your job. You didn't beat, and you don't get to say you beat anyone down. You may have knocked someone over. Well, that's what they did. They knocked the police over. The police lost their footing. They fell over. They got punched and kicked a couple times from little kids, right? Wearing sneakers. It wasn't a beatdown. Bitter agrees with me. So Michael Rapaport, you're a pussy and you're a fucking idiot. And now you just went and proved exactly how dumb Trump supporters really are. Because Michael Rapaport, Mr. Big Biden Democrat fucking lover, all of a sudden, because these 5 kids kicked around a couple of pigs that were beating up one of their friends. Oh, Michael Rapaport's going to vote for Donald Trump now so that we can come down on all those horrible beating down immigrants because, you know, they're all just beating Americans down everywhere. It's an epidemic of beatdowns. One incident and he's ready to go vote for this douchebag? Fuck you, Rapaport. You're a pussy. A snowball beat you down. Yeah, you got beat down by a fucking snowball, and that's not made up. It's on video. Go, oh, you hurt me. Oh, you could have killed me. Oh, you should hear him cry like a little bitch when he gets hit with a snowball. Oh, my God. And so he's calling that a beatdown. Now I think I understand why. Because he's a giant fucking pussy, and, you know, might be deserving of the same fucking thing. Just saying. All right. So let's get, I guess we're going to get IG off of here. IG is dead today, again. I'm assuming. A snowball. Michael Haskey. True Green did that. That's crazy, man. I'd for sure go with someone else too. Yep. Hell yeah. 16 people on Rumble. Come talk to me about it. Rapaport changes his mind like we change our underwear. Patrick John Welder. I know, right? He's not very secure in his belief system. Oh, he's not supporting Joe Biden anymore? Oh, he's not supporting the Democrats anymore? Oh, weird. All over 5 kids kicking a couple of cops around so they'd release their friend. Kids. Little kids. Scrawny little kids. They weren't even adults, man. They were little fucking kids. Oh, you're fucking kidding me. True Green sold out. When did that happen? Dude, my lawn knows. My lawn could tell you right now there's something going on with that company. We had 1.5 years of beautiful grass. Thanks to you, Billy. 1.5 years of very happy times. Thank you. But True Green was sold to a private equity firm. That's fucking crazy. Dude, what the fuck, dude? And then they fired the COO. Oh, shit. Oh. All right, let's get high AF in this B. Let's get high AF in this B. You guys like that? Y'all knew exactly what I said. March of last year, you found out? Ooh, you must have been like, damn, I'm going to have to tell Nay. Okay, so. Hey, bull market money, what's up, buddy? Should I turn on the market for us? I don't have it up right now. Been having browser issues lately. Okay, Bitcoin is about to hit 43 again, I guess. It's not going to take me to the chart. Unless I go to my portfolio first, I guess. Okay, there's the Bitcoin price. Yeah, you gotta reboot it. Reboot that I showed you guys. Let's get high. Let's get high. I'm going to send you a little dipper, Nay, an electric nectar collector. A little dipper. I love that. A little dipper. All right, Michael. Okay. Feel free, buddy. Google it and check it out. Okay. You already got me. You had me at Little Dipper. I didn't know what a Little Dipper was, but I wanted it as soon as I heard the name. I was like, I totally want a Little Dipper. I don't know what it is, but I want it. Fucking funny, bro. Yes, please. Let's smoke first one of the day, says Hippie Chick. Thank you for the thumbs ups, everybody. Both ladies, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, the rest of you on Rumble, how many thumbs ups have you given me? Wow, okay, so that means two of you actually gave me, well, one of you gave me a thumbs up and hasn't even said anything yet. But thank you, whoever you are, silent person. Appreciate that. Yes. Okay, I forgot to check my time. I got distracted. So let's do 1350 and hope we're okay. We're gonna do 1350. I'm assuming it was about 1250 when I should have probably noted that down. Bull market money. I got the I'm gonna get that Bitcoin price up for you, buddy. There we go. 42.9. We are in a bear market right now, but I watched Carl the Moon this morning talking about it. No law regarding cannabis shares. He says it's all looking really good. So they're all guessing $100,000 Bitcoin real soon. Huge asshole. Yeah, I agree. I'm not even going to sit here and talk to you. I don't have to. Yeah, whatever, dude. I don't even have to sit here and talk to you. I'll just delete you forever. You can believe that all you want, but normal people like me are going to fucking hate you. So, fuck off. You're a cunt. Your mom's a cunt because she raised a cunt. So, fuck you and fuck your mom. The United States was created with migrants, right? Yeah, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for migrating all of us. migrating and imperialism, taking over, stealing the land from the people that were already here. Dude, when I'm looking through videos just now on YouTube, I had to look and make sure I wasn't on Rumble because the title seemed a little hyperbolic, and I don't trust anything from anybody on Rumble. Seriously, they're all a bunch of right-wing nutjob, red-pilled cunt fucks. And I'm just here to tell you, man, when you go on Rumble and you start getting into the right wing on Rumble and you start watching people, whoever you are, whenever you go on Rumble, you are totally getting indoctrinated by liars. And that's what you want. You're there because that's what you want. And you're fucking following fucking lemming fucking racist cunt. And your hatred and your racism is getting fed red meat all day at Rumble. So you need to be careful who you watch on Rumble, man. Because I know when I go through those titles and I read each video pop up, I'm like, red pill, racist, red pill, racist, Trump supporting, red pill, racist, Trump supporting, red pill, racist. It's like, it's a never ending line of cunts on Rumble. But I'm on Rumble. So watch this show on Rumble. And, Willie Bragg or Destiny's on Rumble. There's some good people on there, but most of them are shit. So if you find yourself listening to people who are saying things like, well, actually, Trump's making a lot of sense when he talks about, red flag, red fucking flag. There is literally a video on YouTube that says, New York State prisons, how to avoid rape in prison. Sounds cheery. Lawn doctor who stand #1 in the market currently. I have no experience with either. Lawn doctor? I like that name. Well, we can see why True Green is getting beat out. With customers saying, hey, man, my lawn looks like shit, that might be an indicator. Don't go to prison. Jacob Lawhead, that was the very first thought I had. How to avoid rape in prison. Don't go to prison. Stay the fuck out of prison. That's how you do it. First, you're going to want to become someone's bitch. Fucking love that line. That's from Office Space. There were a few things I wanted to discuss, but as I was starting the show, I realized I didn't really remember them. So, studio. I don't want to go to the studio. No, I don't want to go to YouTube Studio. YouTube Studio sucks. I love how the algorithm works on YouTube, man. It's so funny. You watch 2 videos about Sudoku, and all of a sudden you start getting spammed with Sudoku videos. You know? You got to go into your history and delete the fucking Sudoku videos, which I'm going to do right now. Where's the fucking delete button, dude? Where's the fucking... how do you delete shit up? Dude, I'm so confused right now. Why did they get rid of the delete button, bro? Are you fucking kidding me? You can't delete shit off your view history anymore? Come on. What is this, the shit browser I'm using? No, I don't want to watch the video again, you fucking cunts. Fuck you. Oh my god, you guys are cunts. Those videos suck. I don't want to see them ever again. How do I get rid of them off my fucking timeline, you fucking idiots? Oh my god, you guys suck. No, I don't want to clear all watch history, dude. Manage all history? What? Dude, some fucking cunt at YouTube has changed everything, man. History. YouTube history. Yesterday. Dude, they changed it. They don't bother to fucking tell you, oh, by the way, we've changed our format. Everything's going to look different when you try to do shit. No, they don't fucking tell you. They just change it. Well, that's a great idea, too. Just let everybody find out for themselves. You know, and let people struggle. Okay, this is where you got to delete it. Now you got to go click through some shit to get through to another page from you. You can't just, they took the X's off of the view history. So you have to click on a thing now that says manage view history, and that one's got the history now. Now you got to go through 2 pages because some fucking dumb cunt at YouTube thought, hey man, it's going to be a really good idea, I think, if we make people have to click through a couple more pages to get something done, because we're all a bunch of dumb cunts over here at YouTube. You fucking dumb cunt motherfuckers. Click. Yeah, I want to fucking delete it. Why do you think I X'd on it, you morons? I'll do it again. Deletion complete. What? Don't show again for 30 days. What? What do you mean? Yeah, on 30 days I have to see this stupid thing again? God, you guys are idiots. Dude. YouTube has gone so far past its expiration. Oh my God. Thank you. Yeah, now I can just X them out. 30 days, but in 30 days they're going to start showing me the delete message again. And I got to click on it again, I guess. What a bunch of fucking idiots. Yeah, you're on the phone app. It's different. I'm on the website. Right. Except I'm not on the phone. I'm on my computer. And it used to be you could just X them out right from there. But whatever. You guys probably don't even know how to manipulate your view history. Maybe we should talk about that. So, you ever get on YouTube and they start recommending videos that you don't want to watch all of a sudden? And you just forgot, like a week ago, you watched some stupid fucking video, it auto-played, or you accidentally clicked on it, and now all of a sudden you're getting spammed with all these videos. You know you can fix that. Tell me in the chat if you're aware of this. Tell me in the chat if you're not aware of this. It's obviously what I just did is the solution to that problem. Were you guys aware of that, and have you ever done it before? Do you manipulate the algorithm? Did you know you could manipulate the algorithm? I never even thought to talk to you guys about this before. Yes, re-engineered. Thank you, hippie chick. Oh, Karen, you didn't know this. You use YouTube to watch videos? You were aware of manipulating the, Bitter was aware of it. Not aware of what you did. Yeah, so in YouTube, on the left, you have this thing, it's called your view history. It just says history. It's in the menu on the left side of your YouTube. You probably never noticed it before. But if you click on history, it used to bring up all the videos that you just watched. And all of them, all the way back. It keeps going and going and going on. Every video you've ever watched, they keep track of. Why? That's how the algorithm knows what to sell you, by what you watch. So, let's say, like I just said a minute ago, you accidentally click on the wrong video. A wrong video comes up after a video you're watching because autoplay is on. Or, you thought you wanted to learn something really quick about something, but you learned it. And now you're done with that shit. You don't ever need to see it again. Like, this is how you play Sudoku. How do you play it? Well, you got to get 1 through 9 this way, 1 through 9 this way, and 1 through 9 in every square. Boom. You demonstrate that. Great. There it is. We learned. Awesome. There's really hard puzzles. There's easy puzzles. Great. It's fucking boring. I want that. I don't ever want to see that shit again. So you go into history, and every single video's got an X next to it. You just click the X, and it disappears from your view history. It was really simple. Well, now they've added a little cog wheel next to the videos, and they've taken all the X's away from your fucking view history videos. You have to go to a second page that makes you click on something else so you can see that list. It's called History Manager. Now they've added the History Manager, but you have to click past your history to go find it. It's fucking dumb. It's fucking dumb like everything else YouTube does. Instead of making it better, they just come up with more ways to dick it off. Brandon Yuri. What's up, buddy? Right? Yuri. Brandon. You showed me how to say your fucking name. It was Yori. Brandon Yori. Right? Let me know if I got it right now. These cunts keep injecting shit into me because they use reasons of drug and alcohol, and they said I'd never be sober, and now I've been sober. It made me worse. It's bullshit. Joel, I know, bro. You're in a bad situation, and I understand it. Bro. And I'm sorry you got to deal with that. In Australia, I don't know how fucked up their system is over there, but I'm sorry you have to fucking deal with that, bro. I am. It sucks. Rumble chat is so much prettier. I like all the nice colors. More people should type. We should get more typing in the chat. So anyway, go in your view history. You delete the videos that you don't want recommended from your view history, and you get a much better representation from the algorithm next time you tune into YouTube as far as what videos you want to watch. See, I want to watch all my favorite uploaders and podcasters with their most recent material. That's all I want. I want to see your latest video from my favorite people, right? I hate when they give me a 3-year-old video. I fucking hate that shit. And there's something in the algorithm that does that. I fucking hate it. So, I click on the three dots and click not interested in a 3-year-old video. And when it says reason, I say, fuck you, you bunch of dumb fucking cunts at YouTube. I fucking hate you, and I hope you all choke on your vomit tonight. Fuck all of you. I like to say stuff like that. I type it out. Fucking shit lips in the re-engineer crew. You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, I should have kept that fucking dumb cunt on before that was talking about migrants. I should have, because I could have reasoned with them so quickly, and I just didn't have the time, But you know what I would have said had I realized I had it in the back vault? I would have said this. Hey, have you ever been in a situation where police were beating you or one of your friends up? Has that ever happened to you? Or one of your kids? Or any of your friends? Ever gotten beat? Now, I've had many of my friends have been beaten by police, and a lot of you have come in here and told me that you've been beaten by police. So, beat down by police. Man, one of my friends, his face was swollen from where the police had fucking beat him with fucking gloves. So, if it had ever happened to that guy, or if he knew someone it ever happened to, I was like, if you were standing right there, would you just let 2 cops beat the shit out of your friend unnecessarily because they got a badge and a gun? Would you just stand by? Or would you and maybe your group of your friends there take a couple of fucking pot shots at him and make him fucking give him a little inspiration to stop grinding your friend's face into the concrete? I'm going to go with that. And I bet you that fucking dumb cunt, and who I told him his mom was a cunt too, for raising a fucking stupid cunt. Instead of saying that, I should have said, what would you do in that I should have said, what would you have done in that exact situation? And now that you've, of course, admitted that you would have done the same fucking thing, because those pigs had it coming, and both of them walked away, maybe you can see how migrants aren't bad people. In fact, they take care of each other. And that's a good quality in people. The police were in the wrong. If you have to arrest somebody, you put handcuffs on them and you walk them away. You don't tackle them on concrete. So, obviously, the 5 guys who were also helping their friend out, all those guys saw the same fucking shit and said, we need to lend a hand. Especially the big guy in the white that was wearing all white. Especially that guy. Who didn't hit the police at all. He didn't kick the police at all. He went in there, he took one of the policemen, he fucking moved him over, and he picked up his friend and got him out of there. Absolutely would have been a great conversation. Yeah, I just don't think that cunt was ready to have a conversation with me by the way they were talking. Unfortunately, what they said in the chat was rather inappropriate, and I just can't deal with fucking racist cunts, and it just shuts me down. I'm like, I can't, I'm triggered, and I can't talk to you. You're a racist. Fuck you. You're a fucking white nationalist. Oh, I'm black. Oh, I'm Hispanic. I don't care what the fuck you are. You're sold on white nationalism, okay? You fucking snort it like cocaine. Fuck you. You're poisoned. Your brain is toxic. Yeah, I can't even have a conversation with some of these morons. But had it been somebody that I could reason with, I think that would have absolutely been a good conversation. You're right. If it had been somebody I could reason with. Because like I said, it was a simple question. Has it ever happened to you? One of your family members, one of your friends? Were you ever witness to this? Has it, and what would you have done, or what could you have done, or what did you do in that situation? Did you help your friends? Were you with your friends? Because you saw one of your friends get in his face. Would you want your friends to stand by because 2 guys wearing badges and guns threw you down on the fucking concrete? Would you want your friends to stand by? What are those pigs going to do to you next? Throw you in the back of a van and drive you around down the street and fucking slam you up against the wall until you break your neck? Oh, that's right. They've already done that to people. Or how are we talking about flat Earth? Wait, to imply the Earth is flat, you're saying NASA, the other 70 space agencies, 130.
Rogan's sitting by the front door.
Huh.
Think he has to go out?
No. He's just, I think he's looking for people.
For Deborah?
Yeah. My dog. My dog's by the front door. $1 trillion worth of astronomers and 656 astronauts are lying just for you. I asked cops to drop charges in court, but they told me, get lost. Cops involved in a home invasion. That happened to me. Yeah, cops destroyed my home here in Florida. So I know. I understand. I'm glad they all have to wear fucking cameras now, man. You know? I do see a problem with the red light on that camera, though. I mean, if I'm a cop at night and I'm going after a suspect and they have a gun, the last thing I want on me is a fucking red light to show my position. So those cameras have red lights on them. I don't understand why the one did, but I'm telling you, as far as the security of the police officer, you know, having a red light on your body if you're engaging someone at night is a bad thing. Someone in a car run you down, they see that red light, you know, it seems like it might be a problem that might need to be addressed. I mean, all cops should have their cameras on at all times. You have to use the restroom, fine. Okay, you could cut it off when you go to the bathroom. Otherwise, camera's always on. You know, at all times. You turn the camera off and you're not in the bathroom, you get fired and you are no longer able to be a police officer anywhere in the United States. You're completely, and that's the fucked up shit, is you get fired from a police agency because you're beating people or you've killed people or whatever, and you can just go over to the next town. You don't even have to go to the next state. You just go over to the next county, man. It's fucking psychotic. Just go to another police department and they'll fucking hire you. Ugh. What's up, Rogie? Why are you so cute? Why are you so goddamn cute? Got the cutest face. Little bees. Little bees. Little bees. You're thinking of moving to another country? They told me they're not taking my complaints anymore. It's crazy, Joel. I'm sorry, man. Bitcoin's turning around, though. We could celebrate that. And maybe, do your name. You want to do your name? We're making progress. Oh, Pinoy snowed in, man. Oh my god. Holy shit. Ugh. I hope they left the water dripping. Hey, Burn Love, what's up, buddy? Congrats on your 11 views last night, bro. I gotta tell you, most of the times I tune into your YouTube channel and there's not a lot of people watching your show, and it's not your fault. You put on a good show, bro. I want you to know that. Don't allow the low numbers to let you think that you're not interesting and you're not providing good content, because in my heart, bro, I really believe that you are, and I know that there's a market for your content. So don't stop doing what you're doing, please. You had 11 views, man. That's like fucking 11 times more than I've seen lately. So that's huge, actually. And I would just keep going, keep doing what you're doing, keep up your schedule, and keep bringing the content, man. I'm proud of you, because you know I'm watching, bro. You know. Tom got sent to jail. I met my mate Dave. He's done 13 and a half years and did not even 2 months released from jail at age 47. God, dude, it's a... I can't even, bro. Ugh. You're welcome. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. You've come a long way, man, with that show. Just don't let the numbers make you think that people don't want to see your content. You know, I've made that mistake so many fucking times. I've been able to keep, 60, 70 people here watching the show for hours in the last few months. So I know people like it. I know people are having fun. And if I believed that, the low numbers were some kind of an indicator as to just people don't want to see it, I wouldn't even fucking be here, bro. You know? Yes, hippie chick, it is time to 7:10, a little late. But it's time to oh, God. My lord. Hey, okay, you're back. Okay, cool. Yeah, you're back. Hell yeah. My lord I don't know why I read that again. My lord just said cops are like that. Time got sent to jail. Oh, yeah, I already read that too. I'm reading posts over again. Nobody's saying anything in my chat. Y'all getting a bowl ready? Is that what's up? Y'all ready to Okay. Let's see. The time is 46. It'll be 47. 4700. Okay, hippie chick. Yes. 5 seconds. No law regarding cannabis. Everybody cheers. Got that OG Kush. You don't want to smoke? Right on, Joel. Joel needs to do what's best for Joel. John Oliver responds to Elon Musk calling him woke weak sauce. All right, I'm going to have to watch this because it's really short.
John?
Yes.
Big fan. Love your show.
Thanks,
one day I'm going to be John Oliver. You know what I mean?
That's the saddest wish I've ever heard.
Hey, I've got a question for you.
Yes.
Why is Elon Musk so upset with you to this day?
You're gonna have to track him down and ask him. I don't know. That's a thin skin. I cannot possibly pretend to guess what is in that man's mind at any time. Yeah, he seems wounded.
It feels like he invokes you wherever possible and sort of like says how you're not funny and
Sure.
like.
It's a fair argument.
Do you think he's a bit sensitive then? He said he was thin skinned.
He's definitely sensitive. That is a biological fact.
Right. To answer what he said that you're not funny anymore because you pandered to wokeness.
I don't know what that means. I don't think he could explain what that means, and I think it means nothing.
Right. So what's your response to him?
I don't know I don't know literally what he's talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll go on like this? Your relationship will continue to dissolve?
I would imagine the relationship between the richest man in the world, second richest, and a mid-tier comedian will probably evaporate.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think you can keep leaning in, man.
Lean in, like Sheryl Sandberg. Thanks.
Hey, thank
Good
you.
to see you, Charlie.
Great to see you, man. Cheers.
That's cool, man. He's so nice. Holy shit, dude. John Oliver is so fucking nice. Holy shit. Man, dude, I think that's the first time I've ever seen him out of character. What a nice guy. Holy shit. Richard Simmons answered you? Well, why wouldn't he, dude? You're fucking Billy Ballantyne, bro. You sell yourself short, bro. That's what's up. How to withdraw. I'm supposed to be getting a message, an email about getting my money from Celsius soon, guys. That means I'll getting closer to that fucking, whatever it is, 8 point whatever, 8.6 Bitcoin. 8.51 Bitcoin. I'm getting closer to it. I'm at 7. I think I'm at 7.2 Bitcoin right now. I think. It might be a little bit more floating around. Cheers, bitter. $49,000 profit on that, but they're giving me less Bitcoin because Bitcoin's worth more. They're going by the dollar value. It is so fucking stupid. So the more it goes up, the less they're going to give me. You know, so I'm supposed to be getting $49,000 worth of Bitcoin, supposedly. Which will put me closer to that 8 point. And then I might just buy the rest. Because I really want that portfolio to be accurate, you know. Which it won't be still, because there's other cryptos that I've lost because of Celsius. Like my Polygon, man. That's all fucking wiped out and gone. You know. My Ethereum's all fucking wiped out and gone. Lost all my synthetics. You know, I probably lost all my fucking Polkadot. You know, I don't know what else was in there. My XRP, lost all of that. You know, so the one thing is, yeah, I lost a lot of cash, but I'm also losing loss. It's not that great, but at least it's better than nothing. So my losses get less because those investments are gone. So if that makes sense. It means I can't lose any more. Right? I'm the biggest loser in crypto. Oh, yeah, the way Celsius fucked me? Yeah, well, so I'm getting 49% back of the $100,000 that I had in Bitcoin. And then they're going to give me like 18 or 17% interest in a Bitcoin mining company that they started up. You never do anything without first consulting Michael Rapaport. God, that guy. Do you have much bikies where you are? What are bikies? Joel? Lag on Rumble's annoying. Happy 420. There's a lag on Rumble. Whoa, Rumble says 3 people watching. Holy shit. China's secret power. What's that? 2 hours. Oh, this guy says China can annihilate our military. Should we listen to this? Maybe we should listen to it. Cyber would be interested in this.
I don't think that people understand
because Cyber Reload would say that's bullshit. He's like, China hasn't got anything.
Magnitude of China's power. People don't understand it because it hasn't been used yet. We're in a situation like the Europeans were in like the 1910s, where America had this industrial might that was just incomprehensibly larger than everybody else. But the Europeans didn't understand that this could be used for war. China can produce 200 times the number of ships America can. They haven't even started to build artillery yet. But in terms of missiles, they can produce so many more missiles than we can. China's manufacturing right now, in terms of actual gross value added, in terms of the actual price people pay for stuff, is greater than the United States and Europe combined. In 5 years, China built more high-speed rail than exists in the rest of the world, counting Japan, counting Europe, all those countries together, combined. China went from no presence in the car industry to being the world's largest exporter of autos, largest auto exporter in 3 years. You cannot imagine the size of the factories technologies, the amount of labor and capital and resources that goes into this stuff. Can we choke off their oil with a blockade? No, we can't. Don't have the technological capability to do that. Even if we did, in a war situation, China can easily make oil from coal, as Nazi Germany did, to keep them going for several years while they annihilate our military by just overwhelming it. People do not understand the magnitude of China's power because it hasn't used it yet.
So I wonder how much data he has, and what the scope of that power might look like. You know, in the form of what? Do they have nukes? Or is that what you're talking about? A nuclear power? Or are you talking about, EMPs, their ability to just shut down, or their hacking ability to just shut down whatever comes up against them that has a computer in it? Do they have, DEW, direct energy weapons? Do they have fucking giant magnifying glasses that use the sunlight to fry us like little bugs on the ground? I don't know.
Are you the guy on Twitter that hates Gen Z?
No,
Oh, never mind. Okay.
I like Gen Z. They seem nice.
How's it going?
Going all right. Wait, you don't remember me?
Yeah, of course I do. It was a joke because everybody talks about economics online and the vibe session and blah, blah, blah. Like, all the young people are super mad right now. They want everybody to convince that the economy is the worst it's ever been and there's no hope for the future of millennials and blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Yeah. How have you been doing?
See this eyes in this video. I'm doing all right. Yeah, just taking care of Rabbit, living in beautiful San Francisco. Yeah.
Well,
I wonder where Destiny is on climate.
what are we talking about today, Wick?
Oh, am I leading this discussion? I don't know. So Noah and I were talking, and he mentioned that he wanted to talk geopolitics with you.
Oh.
And so I have some subjects if you want, but if Noah's got something in particular, I'm fine to let him take the lead. It's up to you.
Actually, I thought that you had some things that you wanted to talk about.
Fair enough.
Wow, baited
enough.
us completely into
Great.
here. Wait, I guess before, hold on.
Let's do it.
If you don't have any strong opinions, well, how do you feel, I'm curious, Noah, how do you feel for the upcoming election season?
Well, I'm not incredibly happy about it because I'm not a big Trump fan.
Do you think he's looking good right now?
I mean, he's in the last week, Biden has started to look stronger in the polls, but then large numbers of people, are going to vote for Trump, and he's been looking strong in the polls, and he's not a popular figure. I think people just have this, undefined, floating dissatisfaction that a lot of them are taking out by saying, "Oh, I'm going to vote for Trump." I think that's, the electorate is in a bad mood. America is in a bad mood. And that, that makes me sad. I don't want to see America in a bad mood.
Sure. I feel like a lot of that tracks with the the consumer sentiment and the feelings about the economy and how people's personal finances, everything are doing. Do you think as that turns around, or do you think it's going to continue to turn around? Do you think that's going to have a significant impact on the upcoming election, or is there still
I think it absolutely will. I mean, this is the best economy we've had since the 1990s, which is older than most people can now remember.
Okay, so Hippie Chick, I just upped the Rumble output across all channels to 8,000. We were at 2,400 because somebody was having issues, I think, on Instagram or something. But we're not even using Instagram, so I went back up to 8K. That might fix the streaming issue, maybe. If anybody wants to check that on Rumble, let me know how it's going over there. I'd love to find out because Hippie Chick says there were lag issues on Rumble.
And like that, I can vaguely remember it. I was a kid. It was a very good time. But
Billy just said he just proved himself wrong and contradicted himself. Quote, "They can annihilate our military. They haven't even started producing artillery weapons. That means they have nothing." My father said years ago, China will overtake us if we're not careful. They take whole towns and produce one thing. He was amazed at the efficient manufacturing. It's like they produce things just because they need to put people to work.
this is as good as the economy gets. Like inflation is low. People still remember what something used to cost in 2019, and they're mad because when you go see a piece of fruit cost more than it cost in 2019, you're like, wow, inflation. But then eventually that fades from people's minds. After like a year, people see that fruit price is no longer changing. It's no longer going up.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, inflation sort of fades from their mind. We actually have evidence that it takes about 2 years total for this to really fade from people's mind. And it'll be like 2 years this summer since inflation really started to fall. And so I think a lot of people, it'll be farther from people's mind, and the fact that everybody who wants a job has a job, basically, at this point.
Yeah.
And the jobs are better than they've been. Wages wages are going up. They took a hit. Wages took a hit in 2022, but now they're going up. And income's going up, wealth going up, stocks going up. For those of you who own stocks, like for those of you who observe stock day.
Hell yeah,
So,
cryptos.
it's going to filter through. It's going to eventually make
The
it to people's minds.
cryptos, baby.
And I think that will do something. I don't think that's going to sweep Biden to like victory on a tidal wave of economic optimism, but I think it's going to have an effect on the market.
Okay. Do you just a quick thing on econ, just something that hasn't funny, but I'm very interested in. I'm sure you've watched over the past 2 years as there's been the constant prediction every single day for the recession that we're always headed for. Then there's been this obsession of economists who are like pouring through data, trying to figure out like where is all the economic anxiety coming from, because the Twitter sentiment seems to be so horrible and the social media sentiment seems to be so horrible. And now all of it is like kind of flipping around, and people like maybe it was. I know the Vice session was really popular on X for a long time. A theory that I read the other day, I think this was also on Twitter, I don't even know, that was floated, was that maybe one thing that we're seeing is an emergence of like a homeowner versus like renter economy, to where these are two disparate groups of people that are going to be treated like very differently. Do you think there's any truth to that? Like low interest rates and asset appreciation are helping homeowners, but if you're a renter, you're kind of like in a weird screwed place right now.
So rent has been going down, and so
Is that true? Wait, really? Watch out, I said yes.
Yeah, rent's been going down for about a year.
Oh.
No, I don't mean the pace of increase has been going down. I mean the actual number has been going down for about a year in America.
Is it, out of curiosity, is it at a place that's more or less than 2-3 years ago, like what Trump was? So you say it's going down, like compared
Can you
to.
speak up a little?
You might be really quiet.
Yeah. Can you turn up your mic a little bit?
He sounds like a little guy anyway, and then with it all sped up,
Yeah,
it's just it
A little
fits so
better? Okay, I'll
good.
just talk louder if I can. My mic's really shit. I apologize.
You gotta use that professor voice to let you
Exactly, I gotta project, as they would say. So when you say that the rent is going down, like just as a lower number, compared to what, like, is it at the level that it was, say, in 2020? Is it lower, higher? What are we talking here?
Well, it's that just like I think the level was in 2021 in terms of where it is. The thing is that there's several different rent indices. There's like new rent, like if you're just signing a lease now. There's rent, considering all the people who are still on lease, and stuff like that. And so I think that the new rent, rent if you're just now starting to sign a lease is pretty back down. I'll be back. To 2020 is a weird year compared to, because rent really crashed during COVID.
Sure,
so that's a weird year. But I think that comparing to 2021 is probably a better comparison. Maybe 2019.
Well, I wanted to do it during Trump's tenure, just again, since we're talking about the economy and we're talking about like Biden's chances, Trump's chances. I'm just trying to get, because a lot of things I hear from people are this idea that the economy is doing better isn't being felt, right? It's not being felt by the public. I'm not sure how true that is, but it is something that I.
You guys have to read the
People
chat.
feel overnight. You know what I mean? I think people, rent goes down across the country. That's an average. Some people's rent drops. Some people's rent goes up. Some people's rent stays the same. And I think that, if more people's rent goes down than goes up, we economists aggregate those statistics and say, oh, rent went down, right?
Read this
Average
chat,
rent goes down,
guys.
But most people don't necessarily experience those declines. Those declines only happen for some people. So you've got to, either hear, if you're not one of the people for whom that decline happens. I mean, first of all, 2/3 of households are homeowners in this country, right? So those people, that they don't care about the rent going down. So you're talking about 1/3 of people who might even care about this to begin with, right? And then if 1 out of 5 of those gets a rent decrease and 1 out of 7 gets a rent increase, that means total rents go down. But it still means that the 1 out of 7, my rent went up, and then the 1 out of 5 people get a rent cut. But that's 1 out of 5 of 1 out of 3 is 1 out of 15 people in the country gets their rent cut. And then so I think it's a real thing. It'll filter through, but it won't be this tidal wave of happiness that just crashes over the country immediately.
Here's a question as well. I'm running on intuition. I could be wrong. My guess is going to be that if you have a unit and the market value rent for that unit increases, you're probably going to increase the rent burden on your renter. My guess is going to be that if there's a decrease, I don't know if you would actually cut their rent, or if they move out, you would just list it for the lower rent instead. There's probably a higher chance that you would charge a higher price. I don't know how often they would cut rent, so that could be the case too. That if you are increasingly, if your rent increasing, you'd see it go up. But if you're moving into a unit whose rent is decreasing, you have no idea what it cost before. You see like a listed unit for whatever price. That'd be my guess. I could be wrong on that.
That's smart. That's right. No, you're absolutely right.
Well,
so
also,
you have to look at people who moved to a new place, and they're like, wow, my new place is cheaper, but it's actually kind of nice. Wow, I got a good place for cheap. Which is my situation. I recently moved into a good place for cheap.
Yeah. One thing I noticed in general politics when it comes to polling on certain issues, and now I'm applying it more to economic, really probably everything, is granularity is really important when you're doing metrics. Like when you have like a statement like, oh, what does wage growth look like for the entirety of the United States, or what does like rent look like for the entirety of the United States? Then oftentimes these numbers are entirely meaningless at best, sometimes incredibly misleading at worst, or downright lies on how you aggregate or disaggregate data too. So
When do they talk about China?
Sometimes the broad aggregates miss a lot of those stories that we see if you're more granular with your charts or data collecting.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's right. So I think that but I think we're starting to see it make its way into economic statistics. We're starting to see consumer confidence go up. Last month was like the biggest single month jump that we've seen in a really long time. I think the best comparison is to look at the data from the 80s. Now, to go see what it was actually like in the 80s, we'd have to go ask some old people, right? Because no one remembers. None of us are old enough to remember, what it was like to work and buy a house or whatever in 1983. Like I'm old. I'm not that old. So like. But when you look at the consumer confidence, you see that it was really in the dumps. They had inflation, massive inflation in the 70s that lasted for a long time. Then you had raising interest rates a ton, and so like it was very hard to buy a house for a few years there. And then you saw massive unemployment from that. You saw just a big recession from that. And then so of course economic consumer confidence was way in the dumps. And then it started to rise. In 1983, you just see it start to like go up. And then like over 1983, over that year, it just absolutely soars. It flips from completely negative to completely positive as inflation goes down and as interest rates get cut as a result. I think what'll have to happen is we'll have to start to see to really get the same surge here. We'll have to start to see a cutting of interest rates. So I think a lot depends on the Fed. Whether or not the Fed decides that inflation is enough in the rearview mirror where we can afford to cut now, or whether or not we need to keep rates high for a while just to make people absolutely sure that inflation's not coming back. Like double tap the inflation.
Well, I think it's so important when we think about inflation. We're really thinking about like a rate of change, and we need to remember that there is an underlying function that has to be in account because the cumulative effects on inflation are felt, right? So like if inflation is 10% year over year for like a whole year, right? If you get 10% inflation and the next year it comes down to 1%, it's like, oh look, inflation is below our target, that's good. Well, the cumulative effects of that inflation are still going to be felt. The lingering effects are going to be onwards until wage growth outpaces it eventually. So I think it's probably okay considering how much inflation we had. I think the cumulative is still pretty high, although certain sectors of wage growth have started to outpace cumulatively where it was, but probably good. As long as we're not seeing big unemployment, I don't know why you would like rush to cut rates now,
Well, I mean, it could be that. So the reason
Oh,
we cut
these
rates is
safe
the longer you keep rates high,
spaces
the more
now.
sectors and you
They
risk-
are.
so the economy
They
is
always
great and
have
inflation goes down.
been.
But if we keep rates high for a long time, it might kill the
Bro,
commercial
hoodies
property
are
sector.
safe
Commercial property sector is
spaces,
very
bro.
If you're like a developer, you own like office buildings, right? Or
Especially when you
developers
get a
own office buildings.
3XL.
That's what you do. You're hurting
Or a
less. You're having to
4XL,
borrow to
man. It's
buy
like,
buildings,
oh.
renovate buildings, and then those borrowing rates are high. At
You
the same
could
time, the demand
sleep
goes
on
down
a
because,
plane so much easier in a
more
4XL.
to the office as much anymore. They've returned to the office somewhat, but not.
It's like
you
you
know,
could
a ton.
cocoon up,
And so
bro.
that is sort of the structural thing that's hurting the commercial property
Cocoon
sector.
up,
And if you have a
psychobabble.
property interest rates, you have a lot of those property developers go bust. At that point, banks, the United States banking sector has shifted away from lending to industrial companies, software companies, whatever. Those people all go to the bond markets to borrow, right? They borrow, you get money by issuing bonds. And so you go to, if you're a bank, who's borrowing money from banks? Well, real estate. That's who borrows money from banks. It's a developer. And so banks, our big banks have a ton of these commercial property loans on their books. They always did. They always have. This isn't a situation like 2007 where they had all these subprime loans on their books, right? They loan to reputable commercial property developers with very, very good financials. But what was a very, very good financial in 2019 is no longer very good financial right now because rates are just a lot higher than anyone realized they were going to go. And also the remote work thing. Those are two things in 2019 no one could have predicted. No one was predicting either of those things.
Yeah.
And so because COVID just came out of nowhere. And so the thing is, if you leave interest rates high for 1 year, that's one thing. If you leave interest rates high for 5 years or 3 years, maybe you might just crack the commercial property sector. You get bad loans. Banks stop, lending. The real estate sector sort of goes before the banks stop lending, and then that filters through the rest of the economy, and we get a recession. Right?
Well,
Yeah,
would banks stop
people
lending completely even for like residential loans, or would they just like cut back on the commercial lending?
Well, that's great. That's a great question. So the answer is that if it's only a bit, if the commercial property sector only suffers a bit, then they'll just cut down on that sector.
Yeah.
But if the commercial property sector suffers a lot, they'll cut back on everything because of capital adequacy. So,
Because you have to maintain a certain reserve in order to guarantee your whatever. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would say, obviously, I'm just I'm pretty sure we'll agree, obviously they should be careful that we don't want to cut rates to influence the entire economy just to stave off what could be an inevitable collapse of commercial real estate anyway, too, right? I don't know how big the work from home threat is to commercial real estate. I just read headlines and articles where people say that like the restructuring of work has dramatically forever altered the office workspace, and that's true. That I mean, like that sector's probably going to fundamentally change regardless. Yeah.
it is. We would like to let it down gently instead of like you don't want to take a sector that's structurally shrinking and hit it over the head with a sledgehammer to the point where people are waiting for unemployment lines in cities of America.
Yeah.
Like there's no need for that.
Yeah.
We don't. That's resolving sunsetting old sectors. Is not worth unemployment lines. So like,
Well, hey, listen, we're at 8.5% unemployment right now. Listen, there's a lot of jobs available. Okay, we can't bring in immigrants friendly development. So maybe those commercial guys can go get a job, a different job. But yeah.
They will. We just want them to do it gradually.
Sure.
It's I guess the thing is that commercial property defaulting and is deflationary. That puts downward pressure on prices. Also, the other reason to cut, by the way, is that we're now seeing acceleration of productivity growth. So this is something the Fed pays attention to, but most normal people don't. It's productivity growth is when workers produce more per hour, right? And so we saw it. It's been wacky all over the place because of the people who got hired and fired, during and after COVID.
Yeah.
But now for the last 3 quarters, it's been growing really fast. It's been consistently growing fast. And what that means is workers are producing more, and that's probably because companies invest in a lot of new technology, and companies also remote work is probably helping because people are moving to cheaper locations, and there's a number of reasons I can go on, blah blah bullshit. But but labor productivity is high, and with that's a deflationary pressure. That allows the Fed to lower interest rates without creating inflation. That the deflationary pressure from workers producing more per hour from productivity of companies going up allows the Fed to cut interest rates without bringing back the specter of inflation. And that's good. We want that. That's ultimately productivity is what makes our economy healthy. It's what makes us rich people and what makes our country a rich country that can afford to have all this nice stuff. And it's a long-term driver of growth. And that's what allows the Fed to cut interest rates. So the fact that productivity is going so strongly, if it grows strongly for 1 more quarter, I think the Fed is probably going to say, you know what, we've got some room to cut rates here. I think that's a factor that people aren't paying attention to.
So I get that you're pretty bullish, right? You're pretty excited and optimistic about the economy. I guess I just asked, do you see any causes for what would be your main things that is happening that is giving you pause? That is like, okay, we should really look at this. This might be a warning sign. This might be something that shows that maybe the growth we're having isn't as strong as we might think. Is there anything like that you see or are aware of that might be suggesting anything like that, or is it just all blue skies from here on out?
Well, you never have all blue skies in any economy. You can always find something. So obviously the commercial property sector, as I said, is the main worry. I think everyone agrees that there are strains building up there. You see a whole lot of companies in the real estate field who are struggling with the interest costs they have to pay. It's not even just
Can I ask a quick question? Because this might be really relevant. When it comes to commercial loans, are these usually done on adjustable rate or are these usually done on fixed rate?
Some of each, but
just I'm wondering, when you're saying that when you're saying they're feeling like the pressure because I'm curious if their rates are adjusting along with the federal funds rate or whatever. So that's like a huge pressure. Or you're saying new acquisitions of loans are becoming increasingly difficult and driving people out of commercial real estate. Okay, just checking.
Both, but the thing is that even if you have fixed rate loans, these companies aren't taking 30-year fixed rate loans like residential mortgages. They're taking 5-year, maybe 10-year loans.
Okay.
But businesses don't take 30-year loans unless you're a nuclear power plant taking loans from the government.
Sure.
You're not supposed to take 30 years to pay off your investment in business.
Gotcha.
So they're taking 5-year loans, and so what you see is people who have fixed rate loans on. There's some percent have to roll that over every year. That is a good question, and it's an important question. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but I do know that the fixed rate loans are much shorter term typically, and that those have to roll over faster.
Yo, what's up, Trump 45-1? Ban me out. I'm not out to ban everybody, bro. Welcome to the show.
So you get some people who took out a 5-year loan, but this is the year the 5-year loan is up, and now they've got to go reborrow if they want to continue their business. So there's some people who are 2019, it's 2024. This is 5 years since 2019. So if you borrowed in, I guess loans were.
I'm sorry, I'm asking you super basic questions. You said they have to borrow more. Are you implying that they're just taking out loans to lease the office space, or why do they have to borrow more? Is it for expansion, or?
So if you're a developer, you have to keep doing business. Your business is not to take out a one-time loan, build a building, and then sit on that for the rest of your life as a business. You continue
From the
operations.
developer point of view, you're talking about the developer, not the business owner that buys the place. Okay, I gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Exactly. The developers. It's not the right. The businesses are rent. They rent offices. You don't buy your own office. You rent. Unless you're Google.
Do they rent from developers, or do developers sell to leasers like Nay-ture?
Users.
Okay, gotcha.
And then the developers need to go do more business. You know, like you're a business. You're not like I did this one project and I made some money and now I'm gonna go watch TV. Like maybe you could, but no, you're gonna do more business. Like developers are gonna continue to develop. And then leasers have to renovate. Right? If you own this office, you've got to pay upkeep and pay property tax and renovate stuff to make it nicer or whatever. And then if there's demand shifts, you've got to like redo your offices to be like a thing for a different company, or you've got to, if you go in an office building, you'll see a lot of work being done in offices that aren't currently leased out. So someone has to pay for that. Of course, you have to borrow money to pay for tax and stuff. You have to borrow money for like overnight stuff. It's a short-term loan. It's not as important. But yeah, no. So like these companies are all doing continuous business, and they do have a continuous stream of borrowing, right? They don't just like most of these companies are not sort of like it's not like a one-time project where you borrow money, you do a thing, and that's your whole business. You just borrowed once.
Yeah,
right.
I'm going to be real with you. I prepared nothing on economic questions. I got plenty. And Geopolitics.
Yeah, we did Geopolitics. That's fine. Or I guess just
Yes,
final
his
question.
I wanted to
thesis
make sure
is
that you have enough. I want you to satisfy your.
Yeah, I will satisfy. It's just my final question before we come to anything else. So I guess my feeling with the upcoming elections was my fear is I'm speaking from a general American position, not mine personally. I don't think we care at all about foreign politics for foreign policy for more than like a month or two. I feel like it fades pretty quickly, and things like the economy or sort of social issues are things that we feel all the time as Americans. So my feeling has always been that like the biggest popularity hit that Biden took probably revolved around Afghanistan, but we're pretty far away from that now. My biggest fear has been that the economy, if people still feel like it's bad, we're in a pretty rough spot for the upcoming election. But my feeling is that assuming the economy continues around, I feel like Biden has actually a straight shot, easy shot to winning the election. He's running against somebody he's already beaten. This guy's facing so many, indictments. Just all the weird stuff around him. Trump is just I don't think it's very good. Like, it might energize him with his core fans, but it certainly doesn't kill people in the middle. I guess my general feeling is that it seems like he feels that the economy is in a pretty good spot and is continuing in that direction. As long as something bad happens economically, I'm really bullish on the election in terms of supporting Biden. But maybe on the geopolitical front, you'll feel differently or something.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You're the owner of this channel.
I'm the owner of this. I don't think this is how this works. Have you thought, like, I guess for me, I am concerned about the election coming up. I am. I don't know if I'm super bullish. There are too many unknowns. Like, we say that foreign policy is just going to be a flash in the pan. I think that there are so many fires burning now. We have Ukraine going on, some possible strikes against Iran, right, coming up, the issues with China and Taiwan that are always kind of ever-present nowadays. I don't know if this goes away, and I don't know where the public lands on this, right? Let's talk about, I guess to start it off and to go into the geopolitical era here, let's talk about Ukraine, right? We are having problems passing unless it passed today, I'm not sure about it, right? But there's a funding for Ukraine. How long do we continue that? What do you think, Noah?
So funding for Ukraine, I think that there's it's an interesting question. In the long term,
Bro, you don't get banned for being MAGA, do you? I mean, are you getting banned because you're making threats, or you're making racist comments, or threatening people, or doing stuff like that, just talking about stuff that's off limits to talk about on social media? Is that why you're getting banned? Or are you only getting banned because you support Donald Trump for president? I'm concerned, about my own freedom. I'm not, you and I don't align politically, but we could be friends. And, first they came for the MAGAs and I said nothing. Bullshit. I'll definitely say something. And if really, are you a peaceful MAGA? Just be honest with me about that. And I'm not going to block you if if you're militant. I won't. It's cool. You might be behind a little bit in the laggy land on Rumble. You'd have to let me know if it's running better over there, guys. But I never threatened anyone. I didn't cave to the COVID lies. I'm peaceful. Did you share a lot of stuff on social media that was considered medical misinformation? Because I got in trouble for that many times on my YouTube channels. I got strikes on my YouTube channels for that. Did you get in trouble for that? For sharing things that they said were misinformation? You might want to fast forward the video, hit the live button, or like refresh the page to try to get up with me in real time. So 3 days ago, Destiny and Glenn Greenwald debated Donald Trump's participation in January 6th.
Today I'm hosting a debate between author and journalist Glenn Greenwald versus
I think we already watched this, didn't we?
Destiny. We're going to be debating about whether January 6th was an insurrection and Trump's role in it. So let's get started and lay some ground for the rest of the debate. Was what happened on January 6th an insurrection? And within your answer, can you define what an insurrection is? Glenn, can you start and then we'll go to Destiny?
Yeah, I'm really glad that we started there because I do feel like we spent in that last debate a lot of time on the question of whether this was a coup or whether this was an insurrection. And I feel like these are more terms of art than terms of science that have a concrete definition, which is one of the reasons why I think it's not only justifiable but actually necessary to look at how these terms have been applied historically in another context, not as a way of distracting from January 6th, but precisely to see whether or not the attempt to apply those terms to January 6th is consistent with how these terms are generally used, or whether it's just kind of a partisan attempt to create a narrative that serves the Democratic Party. So for me, I guess you kind of have to look at coup and insurrection a little bit differently. A coup is when some faction in society, either the faction that is...
No, I'm just going to stop right there. So he just said you have to look at it differently. No, you don't look at it differently. You don't get to change the definitions of words, you silly, pathetic little man.
Already in power, or the faction that is not in power but wants to be in power, mount some very credible and serious attempt, almost always using force or the threat of force, people who are a militia or the actual military, in order to seize power illegitimately outside of the legal structure, using
hanging the vice president, kidnapping the Speaker of the House, stuff like that.
I think implies that there's a faction domestically that has launched a
going and hunting those people down literally where they work at and disrupting the general proceedings that were going on that day, doing everything they could to disrupt what was going on that day on January 6th. Yeah, it was a fucking coup. It was planned for that day. It was planned for that day for a reason. This is just not even debatable.
The terms are used, and then you have these kind of subsidiary terms that are very new, that are kind of retreats from those terms, like legislative coup or soft coup.
Take care, everyone.
That,
all right,
as I said,
Trump
is a way to
45
kind of put
won.
it into the general category of
right.
coup and insurrection without actually calling it one, and that
Later,
typically
bro.
involves the illegitimate use of a legal process or some other means that's still extrajudicial, contrary to the law, without actually using force or the threat of force to achieve those ends.
Well, what about faking votes?
What about what?
What about faking votes? Would that be counted?
I'm sorry.
If you try to fake votes, would that be counted as an insurrection, or you took it just force, really?
To fake votes?
Yeah.
I mean, if you were to try and steal an election using fraud, I don't really think that's the sort of thing that we have in the past described as either an insurrection or a coup. That's just more stealing an election. And that's why I think it's so important to distinguish between actually when force is actually involved or invoked, or the threat of violence is invoked, precisely because there are so many other ways to seize power illegitimately that fall short of being a coup or insurrection. That's actually a good example of one, which would be fabricating votes or throwing away valid votes or fabricating invalid votes as a means of winning an election illegitimately.
Destiny, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I'm happy to almost run with Glenn's definition here, because I think January 6th pretty squarely and easily falls within that. But I guess the two definitions I would offer up are the Colorado Supreme Court. They concluded that an insurrection, as used in Section 3, is 1, a public use of force or a threat of force, 2, by a group of people, and 3, in order to hinder or prevent the execution of the Constitution of the United States.
There you go.
In Paulson and Bodd's paper, they go over broader definitions, but they more or less say the same thing in more words. I mean, we can read from them, and they would say that insurrection is best understood as concerted, forcible resistance to the authority of government to execute the laws in at least some significant respect. So I would say that, like, an insurrection is probably more than being upset at a police officer and saying, like, no, I'm not going to, get a ticket and running away. Probably has to involve a group of people who are making a concerted effort to like resist the good faith execution of law from the federal government in this case. And I think January 6th, with Trump's plan to circumvent the electoral process with false electors, the actual day of events where Trump gives a huge speech, he sends a whole bunch of people down to the Capitol, ostensibly to protest the certification of the vote, where the people at the Capitol engage in violence in order to prevent Congress from certifying the vote. And then when the people at the Capitol engaged in violence succeeded in preventing the certification of the vote for some number of hours, and then were finally cleared away, I would say that whatever we call an insurrection or whatever definition we use, all of the events here are bullseye, like an insurrection.
So can I ask a question to you? I don't want to usurp your role. I don't know how you want to conduct it, but if you don't
However
mind,
you want.
let's just ask kind of follow-up questions back. The question I have for you then, Destiny, is there any requirement that it actually poses a credible or a serious threat to succeed in its aim? So, for example, let's imagine that Donald Trump wins the election in November, as most polls predict that he will, at least as of now. And let's say that you have one or two people inside the U.S. government who are kind of career civil servants who view Trump.
This is what Glenn Greenwald is doing. He's anticipating Donald Trump's going to be president, and he's sucking up to him. He's licking that ball sack every chance he gets. That's all Glenn Greenwald is doing right now. Damn, man.
It's such a great threat to all things decent in the United States, and they go to the Capitol and they're armed with knives, and they stand outside and they say, "We have knives and we demand that Donald Trump be removed from the White House and the Congress vote to impeach him immediately and reinstall Joe Biden because we think he's the legitimate president." Would that, in the history books, is something that you would then call a coup or an attempted coup or an insurrection?
I mean, you might call it one, but I think it would be so minor, and it would be so silly that I don't know if we would necessarily refer to it as such. For instance, like we could concoct a conspiracy to murder thing where I make a plan that's so ridiculous with another person that we're going to go and buy, I guess, snow, and we're going to pour it down somebody's roof until it all melts and the person drowns and dies. I'm like, maybe and we actually go and buy the stuff and we go to the house and take steps towards the crime, but it's such a silly crime. I don't know if you can call it that. I'm sure we could find cases like really far away on the peripheral, on the edge, but with January 6th, I think we're in a bullseye definition of whatever we
he's
would
lobbying.
call insurrection or attempted coup or rebellion.
It's your mom, Joel. I'm sorry.
The reason why I asked that is, I think actually the extent of the threat, like the credibility or the gravity of the threat, is absolutely critical to whether or not in any other instance we would be calling something like this a coup or an attempted coup, because if you look at January 6th, although you did have more than two people doing the sort of thing that I just described, and I asked a ridiculous example to try and understand whether you.
I started playing this video,
some kind
this debate, and he laughed. He just said,
significant or quantitatively
"Take care."
Impressive attempt to actually seize control from the legal means of power. What you had on January 6th is a hodgepodge of people, which, according to the federal government itself, had only a small minority of people who actually use violence of any kind. There's only something like 10% or 8%, depending on how you counted the number of people charged who are even accused of having used violence at all. And it's a pretty broad definition for using violence, like anyone who got near any attempt to hit a police officer or to push a police officer aside got put in that violent category. So I'm at a very small number of people. And then on top of that, not a single person during this entire 3-hour riot actually pulled out an arm, let alone discharged an arm. The only arm that was discharged was one that was used against the people who were protesting. And then it basically got subdued in 3 hours, not with any kind of real force, pretty easily. It was pretty easily subdued in a very short period of time. And I don't think anybody would argue, and I'm interested in whether you would, that this ever got near a serious threat to remove or topple the most powerful and militarized government ever to exist on the planet. Do you think it even got close to a serious threat to do that?
God, it's so weird how he live Googles.
So just as a
fact
quick thing,
check-
going
fact
through all
checks.
of these points, there's a whole bunch of things that's used to talk about January 6th that I feel like doesn't want to engage with the facts of what happened, and most of these points are just not relevant. So hodgepodge of people, it was a collection of Donald Trump supporters that had been called there weeks or months in advance by Donald Trump. All of these people showed up to his ellipse speech. A lot of them did. All of them marched to the Capitol, all chanting the same things with the clear goal of protesting the certification of the vote. That's why they were saying things like 1776, which we all
Stop the
recognize was
steal.
a rebellion against Great Britain. It wasn't a hodgepodge of people. It was a collection
No
of
one
people
ever
that were
says
all
stop
there
the
for an
steal.
incredibly specific
They had
purpose. I think
signs
it
that
would
said
be
stop the steal.
unbelievable for me to ever accept the idea that it just randomly happened that those people happened to be gathered, that were all supporting the same candidate, that was saying that Congress shouldn't certify the vote, that was trying to get Pence not to certify the vote, that these people happened to go down to the Capitol, they happened to engage in violence, they happened to succeed in delaying the certification of the vote. All of this happened randomly from a hodgepodge of people that were subdued in 3 hours. Whether they were subdued, whether they discharged an arm, and to say that they weren't a serious threat is also crazy, given that there were times where these people were literally rooms away from other lawmakers. I think it's more incredible to say that it never was a serious threat. Like, you yourself say that only a small percentage engaged in violence. What if that percentage instead of 10% was 15%? What if instead of 15 it was 20 or 25%? Who's to say what could have possibly happened afterwards, other than the fact that thankfully retrospectively we can look and see that it didn't get to that. But I mean, this was some tens of thousands of people that were many engaged in violent protests that were breaking into the Capitol and managed to delay the certification.
How many people are you saying were at the Capitol on January 6th?
I don't know. I've seen everything from 100,000 plus to some people say it was 50 to 70,000. I don't know what the exact number is.
Entered the
but it was-
Capitol?
No, not who entered. Who were there protesting outside.
Oh, how many entered? How many entered?
Was it? The numbers I saw were anywhere from 1 to 2,000.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So imagine if 5,000 would have entered or 10,000, right? Who's to say that there couldn't have been?
Yeah, so
Right,
just on
yeah.
touching on Destiny's point, Glenn, at what point would you call that an insurrection, or what point would you say, you said 6-7% were violent? Is there a certain percentage that it needs to hit, or?
Well, I mean, Destiny himself acknowledged in the very first question I asked him that there's a quantitative component to this for sure, which is why nobody would seriously call two people with knives gathering outside the Capitol, even though they're proclaiming an insurrectionary intention or objective. Nobody would say in history that that would be referred to as the United States having survived a coup or a coup attempt or an insurrection, because it was just far too insignificant. And I don't think that there is like, as I said, I don't think it's a term of science, these terms like insurrection and coup. I think they're like a lot of the terms that we use in our political vernacular, like terrorism and hate speech or disinformation, that really has
Right
no
on, Joel.
fixed
Oh, yeah.
meaning. It all kind of depends on who gets to apply the term and for what purpose. Is a group using violence a revolutionary group fighting against corruption? Are they trying to topple the government and therefore a terrorist? All these terms are very kind of shifting because they're points of propaganda. But what I think is that in order to make a serious case that this is a historic event, I mean, I think one of the Krasenstein brothers began by comparing it to Pearl Harbor or 9/11 and the Civil War, kind of invoking those kinds of events. Democrats have done that as well. I don't hold Destiny to that, but clearly there's a belief, I think, that this is like a major event in United States history. And for me, the reason it wasn't is because it never did get anywhere near the number that would be required to pose a significant threat to the power of the United States government. I don't think you can set a quantitative number. You can ask whether, and I think the kind of people.
I just realized my arm doesn't hurt anymore, but as I moved over to tell you, I hurt my back. I tweaked my back.
Who were there is so important, and that Destiny dismissed the idea that it was a hodgepodge, trying to say they were all homogenized. Even the U.S. government admits they were wildly disparate people, both in terms of why they were there and what they intended. That's why a few of them got charged with sedition, and then others got charged with misdemeanors, and then some people got charged with felonies, even though they weren't accused of violence, because they had extraordinarily different intentions. This was not, for example, like, I think you can look at a event that kind of comes closer to what would be required to call it a coup, which was the rebellion by the Wagner Group in Russia, where you're talking about an extremely well-trained militia, a well-armed militia of 25,000 soldiers that had the capability to shoot Russian military aircraft from the sky, and they did. They took down 6 helicopters and a military jet.
So
But even
one
there,
coup
the
is more
Russian
powerful
state,
than
nowhere near
another
as powerful
coup.
as the US
It doesn't
state,
make it
distracted
not
by
a
the
coup, you
Afghanistan,
idiot.
Crushed it in 12 hours.
This is
in
like
the-
this is like listening to. Oh God, it's torturous. Listen to him fucking just beg for Trump's appeasement. It's and Destiny just sits there with his head like this, like, dude, you're such a sellout, man. You're such a fucking sellout. Anyway, top of the hour, guys. Love you all. Thanks for watching. Hope you had fun. I had fun. I'll see you guys on the next show. I'm at Nays Garden on Twitter. That's where I will be for much longer periods of time. I will be on Twitter. Less time on here, more time on Twitter. That's where you're going to see me. I might also be broadcasting to Instagram from my phone. Make sure you're following Nays Garden Show on Instagram for those videos. Don't miss them. All right, guys. Peace!